But that isn't how the good news was spread. So as leaders, we have to make sure that these people in our ministries, they're hungry for something. And if this is Praise Chapel, then I need to give them something to praise. Right? You know, I'm not about feeding yourself. One of the things that I did was, or one of the things that I do is, when I'm trying to mend my relationship a little more with God, I'll listen to Caleb, and I say that because I don't like Caleb, right? I don't like listening to Caleb, and I know it's a shock for some of you guys, but because it just wasn't like worship to me, in a sense. Like, I couldn't relate to those people, right? Like, I'm like, oh, that's not my prayer though. That's their prayer. Like, a year and a half ago was the last time I was a part of this church, and the way you serve God and the way you worship is through what's taught, And so I'm like, thank you, God, for cursing my 90 when I couldn't be my 10%. It was that mentality, right? I thought, well, those are to mend my relationship with God, I needed to focus more on Him and kind of like build the things that were missing to be inspired for that calling. So in connecting with people, we have to look at different churches, different religions, different ways of serving. We have to have that open-mindedness of knowing that God is global. God's not the same God to every single person. And God's going to do different things in different people. And it's not going to be the same. And sometimes we think, well, you know what? If you can share your testimony, but that testimony may not be the same testimony for somebody else. As Jesus did, we need to inspire the Spirit in them. Inspire the things that God has done for them. And I taught this, and I know it seems simple, but it's important because the Jesus mentality was that. So when it trickles down from the people that are under you to the people that are under you to the people that are under you, you're hungry, right? You're hungry for the Word and to be inspired by God. And as a leader, you don't get it from anywhere else. So you get it from your leader, and you get it from your leader. And you have to understand that thirst, that passion for God is almost never quenched, and it's always used. Every week it's used again. Every week there's new failures, and there's new things that we didn't do right. There's things that we didn't follow, but because we know who God is, we try to live up to that. And so you have to remind people, God is still with you. Looking at the fruit of our ministry and looking at the fruit of our relationship with God, we have to know that sometimes fruit goes bad. And that sometimes things need pruning, right? So in our own lives, we have to take out the things that are not being produced right. The things that are spoiled, or the things that went bad, or the things that the worms got to, but know that those things got to it for a reason, because it's time for change. It's time for something else. Like I said, we're broken people. And every broken person in here, every person from the pastor to the visitor is broken, right? We come here because the pieces that we need are here. The pieces that make us whole are here, right? This is, Jesus didn't have a church, right? So imagine as time went on, if Jesus was alive, for the churches, like if basically, if there was as many churches as there is, like you wouldn't have to walk miles, you could just walk a mile and there's a church down the street, right? But this is a tool that God has given us. This church is a tool that says, hey, you know what? You don't have to serve alone. You can go serve with somebody else. And that's what the churches are here for. It's a tool. It's a tool to help you guys with your relationship with God. You don't, like my dad says, you don't have to come to church. But it's going to be harder. Right? It's going to be harder to serve God because you have no accountability to yourself. You know, I know I've said this before, but my mother-in-law, she went through a very hard time in her life. And both the spirit and the flesh was attacked. And if you know your daughter, she would have been like, I quit, right? But you're still here. You don't quit. You're still serving God. You're still praising as soon as you go walking, and you're like, well, I'll praise. I thought, wow, why did she do that? Just relax, like enjoy it. But you still serve God, and you're still here, and it's for a reason. The devil couldn't break you. The devil took away almost everything, but you're still here. And I know that God's going to give everything back. But don't give up. And you're here for a reason. I mean, Victor, you guys are waiting on a prayer. You guys are waiting for a prayer to be answered. And you guys, to yourselves, you guys have been maybe waiting too long. But you're still here. You're still serving God. You still have your faith. Right? You're here for a reason. Maybe your heart has fruit. You're here for a reason. That's right. And we've talked about this. I've told you, just quit, dude. Just quit. Right? You're still here, man. You're still going strong. And like I said, you have a wife now. You're going to have a wife. You guys have to lean on each other for that. Every person here, you're here for a reason. You're here today for a reason. And you're going to be here for the years to come for a reason. But remember that after you follow, lead. And after you lead, remember what the followers need. We can't continue to build when as soon as we get there, we start to tear down. It doesn't work like that. The foundation of God is built by layer. If you guys need to learn, if you guys need to start from square one, start from square one. Go back and think, you know what? Well, how did the disciples do it? They were encouraged, right? They had an amazing leader. I know my dad is a grumpy old person. I deal with him on a daily basis. You should see when we try to build something together. It's like the worst experience of my life. I was building a house, a playground for my daughter. And it was a lot of work, man. There's like a lot of stuff. The box was all ripped from Kmart. So everything was not where it's supposed to be. So like they literally just like, we opened the box and it was just like all scattered, but it was like just taped and like the box was just kind of like pieced together. And Zoe was out there and my wife was out there in and out. And we were building it. And we're happy. We look like a little commercial for a family. So I need, and this is day one, I built it all night. Day two, I built it all day. I'm like sunburned and everything. Last day, I'm just putting up just the tent. I'm done. I just need to put the top on it. It's like literally like a little 4 by 2 foot. And my dad's there. And man, he's like letting it rip, dude. He's like, you're doing it wrong. Put it upside down. no, put the drill over here. And I'm like, and he's like yelling for me from like across the yard. And I'm like, dude, where's this kid? Like, we're happy. Like, everybody was happy. But that's my dad, Like, do the ministry. He's like, oh, okay. Hey, you guys. And he comes with the mic. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm going to share a verse. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But my dad's passion is strong. His hunger is strong for God. That's why when you think you teach Bible study, he's teaching Bible study, He's like, you know what, I'm not going to preach the next 2 weeks, and then like week 1, he's like, I'll preach next week. Because that's my dad. I know, Renee taught last week. Was it last week? Yeah. I know he's fiending. So he got in his 15 minutes of fame before everybody else got up, right? He's like, I know you're parking, but let me share a scripture. But that's his passion. My dad used to sleep for you guys. My dad skips meals for you guys. My dad prays for you guys. My dad's heart is heavy for you guys. And now I think about it, I told him to quit too. I tell everybody to quit. I'm in another church, it's like, but I'm like, I tell my mom, I was like, where does it just stop? Like, people just need to take a step back, But you're here for a reason. And Mom, you're here for a reason. That's why people look at you like you're the mom and you're the dad. And so, and it's like, this church is going on another year. How many years is it going to be? 12. My mom just said 11. California education system. She just like went to like gang signs. I was like, no, Mom. No more gang signs. But no, just that, you guys, is that in order for us to lead, we have to have gone through what it is to follow. And in order for us to follow, we have to know what it's like to go through to lead, to be a follower. Don't forget why you're doing it. Don't forget what got you to Christ. And don't forget what your life is like today, because no matter the position, we feel at the end of the day like man, like this day was tough, so on and so forth. And we give a hard time to the leaders of our own ministries. And it's hard because it's like there's just a discontent. But it's like, as leaders, we have to know it's like encouragement again. They need it again. Every time the youth come in, they need it again. Every time the worship team comes in, they need it again. And every time the church comes in, they need it again. It's not done. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm sorry I didn't get some more scriptures, guys. But that's pretty much what God put on my heart. And just looking at the year to come. One of the things that they talked about in the summit, just to close this, was they look at all those poverty-stricken countries. People you'll see a post on Facebook and it says, like, where's their God? And they show something bad in another country, right? And the pastor, Bill Hagels, he said, do we blame an absent God or cowardly Christians? And man, that's tough, but that's on our level too. We can't be cowardly Christians. If we're afraid of who we are, then don't be it. Right? My motto, quit. Right? Quit your job, quit everything, right? So that's what I did last year. I quit my job. So that's what I'm telling everything. So we can't be cowardly Christians. We have to be courageous. We have to have grace for people, compassion for people. And as servants, we have to be humble and hungry. And that's what's going to build you guys. That's what's going to build individual spirits, individual relationships, the church, the congregation, the name, Praise Chapel. Those are the things that are going to take you guys into the next year. So I don't know that if you want to close it up. But thank you guys.